Hello everyone, welcome back to our Codeigniter 4 tutorials. As part of our user management module, in today's session we are going to discuss about user login form. Let us see what is the process we have to implement in the user login. Login form is already created in the early of the session, that is the 30th tutorial of our series. Try to watch that login form, how we created. Once the form is ready, we have to collect the data and we have to validate the form data. After validating, we have to verify the data that is available in the DB or not. If data exists, we have to verify the password as well as we have to verify your account status, that is active or inactive. If all are okay, I want to redirect you back to your dashboard page by creating a session. Why session is required here, we will explain you later. And if data is not exist, we have to redirect to login page by displaying an error message by saying that wrong credentials entered or wrong password or wrong email ID. Such a kind of messages we are going to display into the login form if credentials are wrong, right? Let us see into the action. So this is the login form we already created in the early of the session. I little bit adjusted the design guys here by adding simple CSS classes, right? So in this login form, if user enters the data, we have to validate it. Let us go to our controller and let us validate the things, guys. Here, this is my index method. Here we are loading the login view. So once the form is submitted, we have to validate it. So how do we know form is submitted? We have request object. If the request method is get method is post, then we know that form is submitted with the post method, right? If a form submitted, we have to define the validation rules. Always it is recommended to take an empty array. So I am taking an empty array $data equal to an empty array. So let us define the validation rules. These are the rules I am going to define for my login form. So we have two input fields, guys. Here, can you go to the login form, check this. This is the email, name of the input field, and password is the name of the input field. Come here and let us define the validation rules, guys. Right here we have required valid email, and unique is not required in this place. Let us remove this unique at the time of registration, only this required, and min length and max length. So for password, if you want, you can keep it, otherwise you can leave it also, no problem. So anyhow, we are going to verify the password that is entered by you with the database, right? So no problem, right? So this is the rules we define. We have to validate these rules now by using validate method, which is available in our base controller class, guys. This is our class. In this class, we have validator methods. Let us call the method here to validate the rules. This of validate is a predefined method. So validate. To this validate, we have to pass the rules. Remember, what are the rules I defined here? If these rules are okay, this validate method is going to return true. Yes, let us write a condition here. If this returns true, all rules are okay. Otherwise, we have to display error messages. Let us display the error messages. I am passing the error messages to my view validation. So equal to this of validator. This is an object. This contain all the validation rules. I mean, if you have any errors, so this validator object is going to display into the screen. How we can send the data to a view via controller in the in the same manner, we have to pass data to a view. The error messages also data I am passing. So now in the view, we have to get this validation for displaying the validation error messages. Let us go to the top of the page. Always while displaying the errors, we need to check one condition. If errors are there, $validation. If validation is set with rules, let us write this. If is set of validation, I'm going to just write a small message. This is going to be end if done. So here we are going to display validation errors. To collect all the errors, we have a method called list errors in the validation. $validation. So let us display all the list errors at a time. In the validation object, we have a method called list errors, is a predefined method to display all the errors. Now can you refresh it now? And I'm not entering any data. So now if we can submit the form, so it is going to be validated with the error messages. Can you see? These are the error messages we are getting. If you want to display them into a div red color, so I mean we have Bootstrap 4 I am using actually. So in the Bootstrap 4 we have some classes to design the error messages. Class equal to, we have something called alert danger is a class I am applying. Now you can submit this now. If you can submit or refresh, now we are going to get the red color strip to display the error messages. Then now we are entering the data. So let me enter some valid data. So you are going to enter some password also. On submit the form, we have to collect the data and we have to verify the data is available in the DB or not. Let us do the same job now. So if everything is okay, you are going to be here. Let us collect the email as well as password, guys. Yes, data collected. This is the email entered by in the form and the password that is entered by you and we collected. Now I'm not going to verify both the details at a time. I'm just going to verify the email. If email ID exists, based on that email, I'm going to verify the password as well. For this, let me write a small method and we have to create a model. I'm already ready with a model skeleton. So let me load the model. In this model, we are going to define a method. So because that email ID should be verified with the database, right? Public. I'm writing $login model equal to, so first of all this is the variable declaration. After that, here we are going to first you have to include the model also. Use app slash models slash, we have a model called login model. This is the login model we have. Let us instantiate the model here in the constructor, so it is going to be reusable if we can instantiate in the constructor. This is going to be login model equal to new login model object I am going to create. Yes, this is the login model object is instantiated. So we have to create one method called verify email. Let us go here. In here I'm writing this of login model of, I'm going to define a method verify email with a parameter $email. So this is what this method is going to do. This method is going to verify the email you entered is available in the DB. If it is okay, it will get the data of you, your password, your UniID, it will get back to you. Otherwise, it is going to return an empty. By saying that empty message, we are going to display a message, sorry, wrong email ID entered, right, wrong credential, such a kind of message we are going to display. Go to your model. Let us define the method verify email. So I'm going to define the method verify email is a method. This method needs to verify the email that is entered. This is the parameter we are passing here. This parameter should be verified. That is nothing but the email that is entered in the login form. So now I need to connect to DB. So to do this, guys, I'm loading your database table by using builder object. So this of DB is automatically loaded in the model class. We no need to load the service, database service here, not required. We can just write this of DB of table. This is a user's table. After that, we need to select the columns, guys. The columns are going to be UniID, status, and username. Username required if you can take, otherwise you can leave it, no problem. But three fields are important: UniID, status, and password. Right. So after that, we have to write a query, guys, here. So the query is so where condition also we have to write. So whatever the email you entered, based on the email, I need to get UniID, status, and username and password. Now the get query. We are getting the data. So if you have records based on this email ID, we are going to return the result set. Let us return the result set here. So we already seen how to find the number of records in the previous session. This is the what is the way of getting the records. Result of get result array method is going to return the total number of records. Now I'm just using the count method. This is going to give the total number of records based on this email ID. Just exactly we are going to get only one record. If you don't have records, I want to write else block. In else block, I'm going to return the false. Now what is going to happen now? So if the email you entered is exists in the DB, that is going to return the data. So here we are going to get the $user data. Let me take this. You are going to get the user data if exists. If not exists, we are going to get false, guys. Let us write a small condition here, $user data. If it is exists, then I am going to return else block. In this else block, we have to display a message by saying that wrong email ID entered by you. Let us display this message, and I'm using this session for this, guys, here. So we can use session in different manner. Here let me use public session $SESSION. Earlier we load the service to work with the session. Now I'm using the helper method to work with the session. So this of session equal to, we can write simply session library. We can write like this also. But in the early of the login registration form, we load session service, but not required. We can load the helper method like this also. Both are equal. You can use any one. Right. Once the session is ready, or else you can directly access it also. We don't want to load the session on the top of the constructor. You can directly call the session here, guys, no problem, right? So based on this, if data exists, we are going to do something. If data not exists, we are going to display a error message. Yes, this is the error message I'm just going to display here. Right, if data exists, right, so I mean if the email does not exist, we are going to display message sorry email does not exist, and expiration time is 3 seconds. Here we are going to display, and we are going to redirect to same page. In that view we have to display the error message. Let me display the error message in the view. If you have any error, this is going to be displayed the message. I'm getting the temp data, session of temp data. Did you see here I'm directly writing? I didn't load any page session here. We can write directly, no problem. Like this also we can write directly, guys. This is also one more way, or else we can define page session equal to something. In the early session we did. We don't want to do like that, and we can directly write the helper method like this, session of get temp data. This is also work the same. Here also I'm writing session of get temp data. And if you have any error, this is going to display the error message. Let me do one thing. Let me enter an invalid email ID. This is invalid, which is not available in the DB. I'm entering some password. Let me submit this. So sorry, email does not exist because the email ID is not there. Check the database CI4, and what is the email ID you have in your users table? We have 2 email IDs only. That is, one is ram@baburi@gmail.com and gophtrainings@gmail.com. These are 2 email IDs. Let us enter the data. Valid email ID. So I'm entering the valid email ID, some different password I'm entering, not valid password, but we are checking as of now email only. Now submit the login form. If you can submit, we don't have any error because that email ID is exists. Now what I need to do, based on this user data, this is returning an associative array. Let me check the password you entered and the database password. If you want for the confirmation, you can print this user data, so we will understand. So the user data of the logged in user, we are going to get it. Just I'm printing, just refresh. Continue with the previous data. Can you see this is the UniID of you and status of you and username and the password? This is the password. We have encrypted password. This password now should be verified with the password that is you entered. We have a method, guys, in our PHP. This is an array, guys. The result is in the form of an associative array. Right. Let us go there. We no need to print it. I'm writing one small condition here. We have a method called password_verify is a predefined method. To this, the password you entered and the hashed password from the database. Let us pass this as a user data of password, because this is an associative array. What password verify method will do, the password you entered and the database password are matched. This method is going to return true. Let us make it condition. If the password is true, we will do something. Otherwise, we are going to display an error message by saying that wrong password entered for the email. Let us display the same else block here. So I'm just going to display error, sorry, wrong password entered for the email. This is the message I'm just going to display, guys. So now you can check it. Earlier we didn't check the password. Now I'm going to enter the valid mail ID but wrong password. I'm entering some dummy password and let me submit it. Now can you see? Sorry, wrong password entered for the email. Now I'm going to enter the valid email ID, valid password 123456 is the valid password, I think. Let me submit it. We don't have any error. Now immediately I need to check your account status also. If $user data of status, database status equal to active, then I can allow you to go to your home page or dashboard page, whatever it may be. Otherwise, I will display one more message by saying that please activate your account or contact admin. Such a manner I am going to display. So let us come down and here display the message, please activate your account. I already told you the people who can activate their account, they can only come here, activate your account. They can only log into our application or contact admin. Contact admin. Such a message I'm just displaying. In the admin, for admin in the dashboard, we can provide small control to send the reset password link or to send the activation link, recent activation link, or else we will do later, guys, don't worry. So I'm leaving this blank right now. I'm not working with the recent activation link. Later in the separate session I will explain you how to send how to resend activation link to the registered user. Now if everything is okay, here your email ID exists, your password verified, and your account is status active. So now I need to redirect back to a dashboard page. Before redirecting, I have to create session. In that session, I have to store some unique information that belongs to you. Let us do one thing. So I'm going to use the session $this of session of set. So I'm going to take key and value pair. Directly we can pass data also. Let me take key and value pair. So user logged in data or logged in true or login true, whatever it may be, you can take, guys, no problem. Logged in user, that's it. I'm taking something like this, and in this I want to pass our UniID. So you can store anything, group of array of data also we can save, but I'm not saving all the data. I'm just saving the UniID that is belongs to you. So this is going to be UNIID. You can store all the array of data also, but it is not required for me as of my requirement, right? Now it is ready to redirect to your dashboard page. Let us redirect it, but we are forgetting one more thing. Wait for a minute. So redirect, return redirect, we have to write return redirect. So we have to go to dashboard, guys. Let us write something called /base/dashboard, or you can write base URL dashboard also, we can write, no problem. So here I am going to write DASHBOARD dashboard. So we have to go to user dashboard. Now I am writing base URL.user dashboard. If you want, you can write like this, otherwise you can leave it, no problem, right? Let me enter valid data, and both users are activated, I believe. So let me enter the user data, and can you check please the status of the each and every user? Here the status is both users are having active status, no problem right now, right? So let us enter the data, and the password is 123456, guys. I entered valid data. Now log in. Once you logged in, you are going to dashboard controller. Some error is there, UniID is some error, undefined index UniID. Let me check it, what is the problem here. So where is the problem? So line number 36, login.php. Go to line number 36, login.php. This is not data, this is actually user data. We have to take user data of UniID, and refresh the page again, and let us enter the valid data now and check it now. So this is going to be 123456, and I'm just submitting. Now you went to dashboard controller, but dashboard controller was not created. Our error handling display this message, don't worry about it. Dashboard controller is not created it. So let us create the dashboard controller. There at least we have to display your UniID, who logged in. So this is very important. If I want to see my dashboard, first of all I have to log in first. Without login, can I go to my home page or dashboard page? No, definitely we cannot. Go to facebook.com. Without login, will you go to your home page directly? It is impossible. Definitely you have to log in, and then only you can see the dashboard or home page or whatever it may be. So we need to check one condition. Are you coming to this page, dashboard page, with login or without login? If you are coming with login, I can allow you to see the dashboard page. If you are not logged in, I don't want to allow you to access this page. I want to redirect you back to login page by displaying a message, please logged in. Right? So any page, if you want to restrict, only logged in users can see some data, logged out users only can see some other data. Yes, we have to use the session concept, guys. That's why I created the session. After creating the session, I redirect you back to dashboard page. Session is a super global variable. If you can create a session in login page that we can access in our dashboard page, or some other page or some other controller also we can access it. But wherever we require, we can use that session, no problem, right? Dashboard controller is not there, that's why this is the error. Let us go to your editor and try to go to your controller and create dashboard. New class file. This is going to be our dashboard.php. Let us make capital D here, dashboard.php, done. Now class is ready. Yes, dashboard controller is ready. Let me create an index method here, public function index. Right here I need to load a view for this dashboard view. We didn't create any view, but let me write a small message here for checking purpose. Welcome, just I'm writing a welcome message. But remember, if you can log in, then only you can come to dashboard. If you want to access any of the method of the dashboard controller, first of all you have to log in. That way we have to check, guys. If possible, I will discuss now, otherwise in the next session I will continue that, don't worry. Right, so this is done, guys. Now we are in the dashboard page, but in the dashboard page we need to check, we have to load at least a view, right? Let us load a view. I'm going to return a view. We didn't create any view for this. Let me go and let me create a view called dashboard view. This is the dashboard view, right? So now if you can refresh, it is going to expect the dashboard view. You may have error because that view file is not available, right? Let me create a dashboard view.php. Go there and go to views folder, and let us create the file, go to your views and create the dashboard view. Yes, dashboard view created. Earlier we don't have this view. First of all, we have to include our header, that is nothing but base.php, right? Let us extend this, let this off, extend, let this off, extend from layouts / base.php. Yes, so now this is going to load the header and footer. Perfect, header and footer is loaded. After that we have to place a content, right, to render the section, right? So we have to use the placeholder. To the placeholder we have to add the content. That's why we have a method called section method. In this we have to use the placeholder. What is the placeholder in the base.php? Content is the placeholder, right? Yes, content is a placeholder. Every section should end with end section also. Close the end section. Right, then whatever the content now you are going to keep in between this placeholder, that is going to be available there, right? Now let me display a message, welcome to, I'm going to display a message, welcome to the username. I don't know who is that user logged in. We have to display the name of the user dynamically, right? So let me display welcome to username. Simply I'm going to display a message such a manner, guys. Who logged in? We have to display that username. If you, your name, me, my name, somebody's name should be there based on the logged in user ID. So that we have to check it, guys. Anyhow, so this is what we have to make it dynamic. Let me do one thing quickly. Here I'm keeping one logout button also. What we have to do in the logout? If we can log out, we cannot come to this page. I'm making this logout and try to create one function in the dashboard. Public function logout quickly. Public function logout. So what we have to do in the logout? Login is the entry point of your application. Logout is the exit point of your application, guys. Here I have to load this of session. That session we have to destroy. You can write the session like this also. We don't want to load the service every time. Session method like this, helper method of unset or destroy. We can use the methods, guys, like this also. We can use what you want to unset. Go to your login page and check it, guys, so that we will understand how to do this. In the login page, just I want to check what is the name of the session. This is the name of the session. Go to your dashboard controller. In the logout function, write the name of the session also. This session only we have to destroy, right? That's why I'm coming to this page. Right, let me go there and click on this, and here we have to remove also. We can write remove or destroy. Session method of remove the key of the session you created there. After that we are going to redirect you to the login page. Return redirect to base URL of login, just or /login also you can give, no problem, because I was habituated like this, that's why I'm giving this. Or else you can write just login also, /login. It will also going to automatically there. If you logged out, you cannot be here, guys. See, where is the logout button? Just refresh the page. Are you getting the logout page? Yes, this is the logout button. But one more thing, and did you provide the action for this? Go to your dashboard view. Here we have to provide the link for this, right? So let us provide the link for this, and base URL of dashboard. This is going to be /dashboard DASHBOARD dashboard /logout. This is the function we have to call when you are clicking this. From the dashboard controller, we have to call the logout method. Okay, now refresh the page and check it whether it is action done or not. Just I'm going to this page and just click on this logout, and you have to go to your login page. Perfect. But after I logged out, right, if you can click the back button, you are going to dashboard page. Is it correct one? No, this is not at all correct, right? So how can we send you to back? If a user click the back button, will you go to again your profile page? No, we don't want to allow you because session is already destroyed, right? So we have to write one condition in your dashboard controller while displaying the view. Let me display the data, or let me write a small condition by writing the session of, we have a method, guys, here has of the key. What is the key? Logged in user. If a session is available, if session has, there is a condition, session has logged in user data, right? So it is having some data. Yes, we can do. Otherwise we have to redirect him back to, so I'm writing a condition, if not session has user data, I want to redirect you back to your login page. Yes, later we will write a very perfect condition for this all, because if you have 10-15 methods, will you write the same for 10-15 methods like this? It is not correct, right? So in the, for example, you want to access 10 to 20 pages once you logged in. So will you write this 10 to 20 times? Where we have to write this condition, that's we have to check it, that we will see in the next session, don't worry. Right, let us go there and submit the form now. I'm refreshing the page. If you can refresh, it will automatically redirect you back to your login page. Can you see? Even if I click the back button, you cannot go to the particular dashboard page, guys. Let me log in the data 1 2 3 4 5 6. I'm entering now and submit this. Now you went to welcome page, but here we have to display the logged in user data. And moreover, you already logged in. If you already logged in, I don't want to display login and registration button here. I want to display logout button with some drop down menu. So logout button, change password, edit profile, upload avatar, such a kind of logout menu. I want to display some kind of menu items. Those menu items, if you can log in, then only you can see. Register and login. If you logged out, you can see. If you are logged in, we have to hide register and login, and we have to display some other menu if you are already logged in. This is what we have to implement, guys. Let us work this on the next session, so it is going to be easy for us, right? So I don't want to make you all the things at a time. So we are successfully logged in. In the next session, who logged in, their information we have to display here. After that, we have to maintain the menu items also. And one more thing, we already told you we have to maintain login activity. Last 10 logins, last 20 logins, something I told you, right? We didn't implement it. That's also we have to implement, guys, right? So login activity and the logged in user information and menu items we have to hide and show based on the logged in and logout, right? And one more thing, how can we use the session globally? So we are writing a condition here, but this condition is not correct way of writing this. This is the condition we written, right? This is not exactly correct one of writing in each and every method. So for this, we are going to discuss about custom filters. By using filters, how can we use this method, or else how can we restrict the people to access the logged in content? So people has to access the data if you can log in. Otherwise, we don't want to allow you. How can we write in one place to apply all the content which is secured? This we are going to see in the next session, guys. Thank you all. If you have any doubts, please comment on the video section, guys.